Well, we got some bad news last night in regards to Samsung's profit numbers, revenue numbers. We're going to go through all that in this video today. Also going to talk about Tesla. Some very good news came out in regards to Tesla. And at the end, I want to share with you guys something I thought was kind of contradictory and a little funny, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy this. As always, hit a thumbs up. Let's get straight into this, all right? Samsung Electronics posted one of its worst performances in the fourth quarter as global customers cut their orders for memory chips. If you didn't know, Samsung's a huge memory chip maker out there. A lot of people think of Samsung as like TVs and phones. They actually have a lot bigger businesses than just that. The South Korean tech giant announced Tuesday that its operating profit tumbled nearly 29% on the year to 9.66 billion. So they still make a lot of money, but they're making way less money than they used to make. Let's put it that way, okay? For the October through December period, in the preliminary earnings guidance, revenue dropped 10.6% to 59 trillion won during the same period. The final data will be unveiled later this month. Analysts attributed the weaker results to lower global demand for server DRAMs, as well as a slowdown in emerging markets. Analysts had contributed the weaker result to lower global demand for server DRAMs, as well as slowdown in emerging markets. Samsung is the largest DRAM maker with a 45% share of the world's market for DRAM, okay? Now, some industry watchers are saying the worst may be yet to come. Nomura said DRAM and NAND prices will decline 31 and 44% respectively this year, lowering Samsung's operating profit in the memory sector by 45%. Okay, so Samsung's memory business is a mess right now. Basically, any memory business is a mess right now. Memory can be very commoditized type products, especially DRAM and NAND. And depending if there's a ton of demand and a limited supply out there, the prices just go through the roof. And that's kind of what we saw, throughout 2016 and going into 2017 and especially into 2018. And now all of a sudden we're just coming off of those massive memory prices everybody was having to pay. Now all of a sudden demand has dried up in a big way, and there's still a supply out there, and so memory prices are just dropping, okay? Samsung said marketing expenses and flat sales volumes led to a decline in profitability in a stagnant but fiercely competitive market in the smartphone business. Over the third quarter of 2018, Samsung saw more than a 13% drop year-over-year decline in global smartphone shipments, okay? So this is bad on two fronts, okay? Their memory business is a mess. Their chip business is a mess, okay? But then on top of that, their smartphone business is down 13% year over year, all right? And I would say Samsung makes a lot of different types of smartphones, okay? They make ones in the very high end, which a lot of the people that are North American viewers, you might have Samsungs, you might know of Samsung for their higher end phones, but Samsung also has a huge business that's more in the mid-price type phones, okay? So the fact that they're down 13% year over year speaks volumes to how bad the smartphone environment is out there right now. It's a very weak environment, and there's just no one really posting strong numbers in the smartphone segment right now, and that's just the way it is. Now, I thought with how bad the memory numbers were, I thought MU stock might be down huge today based upon that, but it's not really. It's down around 2% roughly, so a little surprised to see MU not down a huge amount because MU is one of the biggest memory makers out there. It's the biggest pure play on memory, and with how bad Samsung's numbers were in regards to memory and what they had to say there, I thought maybe MU would be down even more. But at the same time, MU has fallen, 50% from its highs it hit in 2018. So maybe, all this bad news is already priced in. Eventually, you get to that place on a stock where there's been so much bad news, it almost can't go down anymore because it's already been baked in, all right? So that covers Samsung. Bad news for their businesses across the board. There's really nothing going well for Samsung right now. Everything is down year over year for them, all right? Now we got to talk about Tesla and two pieces of news in regards to Tesla, okay? First is this was announced last week. I never got to really talk about it, but Larry Ellison got named to the board of directors of Tesla, and he actually, had to reveal his $1 billion stake in the automaker. He mentioned it in an interview that he had around 3 million shares, but it was never 100% confirmed. Now it's 100% confirmed. By the way, just for my quick take on that Larry Ellison add to the board, I think that's a very good, add to the board of directors. Larry Ellison, probably not the most likable person in the world, let's be completely honest, but that guy is a ruthless businessman, and he really understands how to compete in unbelievably competitive markets, and what he built built their Oracle. If you don't know, he built the company named Oracle into this massive Goliath company, became one of the richest people in the world. Probably, you know, if you watch interviews with Larry Ellison, you probably don't like the guy very much, but I'm just being honest, like he's really smart when it comes to business and understands competitive strengths versus weaknesses and things like that. So I think he's a great acquisition to the board. And the fact that he has $1 billion of Tesla shares, I love that. I love when a board of directors has massive ownership in a company that they actually are, you know, kind of overseeing and whatnot. I love that, okay? I just want to carry on with that point for just a second here. I love, you know, I'm a Tesla shareholder, and I love the fact that when you look at Tesla's executive team and the board of directors, you're finding more and more people that have huge ownership stakes in the company and want the company to succeed over the long term financially. You obviously have Elon Musk, who runs the company. He's the biggest shareholder by far and away of the company, owns tens of millions of shares, and most of his net worth is tied to the fact that Tesla succeeds over time. You have Jeffrey Stubel, who's the CTO of Tesla, owns well over 300,000 shares, so he has massive ownership. He obviously wants Tesla to succeed over the long term. You add someone like Larry Ellison to the board of directors, has a position worth somewhere around $1 billion in the company, which Tesla's only about a $60 billion market cap or so. So a $1 billion stake is a major shareholder. You have someone like that on your board of directors. I just love the fact that, you know, it reminds me of the Gordon Gekko clip. Not all companies, as far as executive teams and board of directors, actually have big ownership stakes in the companies, and that's unfortunate. It's not that way with Tesla, though. Next thing I want to talk about here is Tesla has started building its Shanghai factory to make cars for China, okay? This just got announced by Elon Musk on his Twitter page about a day or so ago, and this is very exciting, all right? Now, what's interesting is how fast will he be able to build this Gigafactory and get it up and running? As far as what Elon Musk had to say, he says, I've been very impressed with the construction in Shanghai. It's very efficient, it's very fast, high quality, and I saw that when we were building the Tesla supercharger network. We were able to build this amazing supercharger, quite a big supercharger in downtown Shanghai in like 12 days. It was amazing. It was the fastest we had ever built anything in the world, Elon Musk had to say. So it's going to be very interesting to see how fast they can get this up and running. They're talking about possibly having some production out of that factory in like 6 to 9 months, which is like ridiculous, okay? I thought, it would be at least 1 to 2 years before they start any type of production out of there. If they could start some, they just started. If they could get some production actually starting out of there in 6 to 9 months, that is ridiculous, guys. Now, we know the Chinese want to get this done as fast as possible. We know the Chinese love to make headlines for building stuff fast, right? Remember just a couple years ago when they built the skyscraper in 19 days? That was insane, okay? I doubt this Gigafactory is going to get built in 19 days, so don't get your hope up. But I mean, as far as the Chinese, the way they kind of look at it and the way they want to brand themselves as far as builders out there, they're going to want to get they want to impress Elon Musk. They want to get this built fast, and we're going to kind of see how fast they can actually get this built. This is going to be a huge thing for Tesla overall, as far as the freight costs just from shipping cars all the way from California all the way to China and whatnot, to get that factory up and running in China, and how big of an electric market that's going to be for electric vehicles over time. This is a big thing for Tesla. It's one of the biggest things Tesla has going for it, other than maybe Model Y coming in a year or two. So very exciting stuff there. Now I want to share with you guys something pretty funny, okay? So if you didn't know, Disney's hiking prices at their California theme parks. That's always funny to read comments on Seeking Alpha. By the way, Seeking Alpha is like a website where you can kind of learn about stocks and you read articles people had written and things like that. It's always funny to read things like people hating on a company going up in price or something like that. This person sums it up perfectly with their comment. Wise Poker Guy says, it continuously makes me laugh how people probably claim to be capitalists, since this is a financial website, continually bash companies that increase prices on something that no consumer has to purchase or is forced to attend. Will the customers continue to come? Probably. Isn't that the type of equity you want to own? Increase profits and decrease costs? Isn't that right out capitalism 101? Last time I checked, there was no life-saving function that Disney provided to its customers, so to equate Disney to biopharma firms is ridiculous. No one is forced to go to Disneyland. If someone doesn't want to pay the admission price. They don't have to go. You should stop complaining about it. It's entertainment, just like all other forms of entertainment. It's priced at what the market will bear. If attendance drops, I'm pretty sure Bob Iger will adjust Disney's pricing strategy. Until then, I'm fairly certain people will continue to flock to Disney themes parks. So if you decide not to go, that means just one less person not crowding up things for everybody else. That was such a well put statement there. I love that, guys, because some people, they try to claim to be capitalist, and then, yeah, I see it sometimes in the comment section, and then people are like, oh, why is so-and-so charging so much? It's like, dude, this is capitalist type stuff. Like, if you don't want to be engaged in this type of stuff, stock market, community, business, and whatnot, we don't need you guys here at the end of the day. This is capitalist type stuff, so I love that comment, guys. Anyways, hope you enjoy this as always. Hit a thumbs up if you did. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.